to the races with some nomenclature next. And here we are. How do we approach a nomenclature question that has bicyclo number dot number dot number in it? You got to read all those rules about bicyclo. That's the end of the nomenclature section. So I know some of you haven't got this far yet. Maybe you want to read it first. But basically, those dots are part of the structure. So I'll do a dot here. That's a carbon. And a dot over here. You can go left to right, up or down. And what the 5 and the 3 and the 2 mean are there are 5 extra carbons between the dots in one of the links. We call them bridges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like Burger King, and I missed. Make my dot bigger there. They're touching. And there's another way to get from dot to dot with 3. 1, 2, 3. And yet a third way to go from dot to dot with 2 more carbons. 1, 2. I don't care where you have the 5, where you have the 3, where you have the 2. You could have the 5 on the bottom, the 3 on the top, and the 2 in the middle. Does not matter as long as you have 5 carbons between the dots, 3 carbons between the dots, and 2 carbons between the dots. And you've drawn 12 carbons. You know how I knew that? Well, what's 5 plus 3 plus 2? That's 10. And then the 2 dots is 2 more. That's 12. You can verify that. Dodecane means 12 carbons. 5, 3, 2 is also another way to say 12 carbons. Then you decide which of the 2 dots is carbon number 1. It's up to you. My Arabic students want to start on the right. That's fine with me. We got a 1 there. That means carbon number 2 has to be here in the biggest bridge. And that's going to take you to carbon 7 over here. How did I do that so fast? Well, you could do it slow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or realize there are 5 carbons between the dots, now not including the dots. That's 5 plus 2, 7. And then 8. Which of these 2 carbons would be 8? You don't have a choice. The way you drew it, this has got to be the 8. I really don't need the 8 because there's nothing in my molecule beyond the number 7 in the name. But just if I had a group on 8 or 9 or 10, that's where I'd have to put them. And this would be 11 and 12 since we're doing an introductory video. You got to make 11 as close to 10 as possible without using a number you've already used. So you can't use 1 again. And there, further verification, you got 12 carbons. Now you have to put an isoheptal on 7. And I know you've been reading carefully about how the strategy of drawing any iso group is to subtract 1 carbon from heptal. So you're down to 6. Heptals being 7. So draw 6 in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Verify you drew 6 carbons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And an iso pattern is always a V. From at the end, you finished your isoheptal there. And this is the systematic naming of a group. Which part of this name do you start with? Well, the part that's attached to carbon 1 is the non-neal. So you draw the end of this group name first, 9 carbons off of carbon 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I always verify it. I never trust myself. 1. Hey, you can go odd numbers. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. And on the 4th carbon, this being the first carbon of the group, in this system, if you see the parenthesis, the first carbon in this whole group's name is the one attached to the chain, or in this case, the one attached to the ring. 1, 2, 3, 4. Off the 4th one, you have to draw a propyl. So that's the only place to draw the propyl. And oops, I drew a butyl, didn't I? Propyl is 3 carbons. 1, 2, 3. And next week we're gonna put wedges and dashes here because that's a stereocenter. And we're gonna put wedges and dashes here because that's a stereocenter on 1, and 7 is also a stereocenter. Right now, you probably don't know what any of that means. So that's a 4-point nomenclature question, and we've done 2.5 of the 4 points right now. And then this one, we're going the other direction. We're naming it. I didn't copy the original questions. In question 1 of the nomenclature says draw these, and question 2 says name these. Because there's 2 ways to number this ring, and they both put a group on 1 and a group on 4, I'll accept either direction. The people at UPAC are probably still a little annoyed at me because they have a rule that covers this that says one of the ways is better than the other. The blue way is better than the red, but I don't care. Okay. So I'll take the red numbering or the blue numbering because they both put a group on 1 and a group on 4. And the group on 4 is a 1-carbon group attached to the ring. So the name of that group is methyl. The methyl also has a group on it. It's an iodo. It's the same as this. The group attached to the chain was a nonyl that goes at the end. The group attached to the nonyl is a propyl. So a group on a group. Here, I'm going to do the same thing. I don't need parentheses because there's only one place to put the iodo on the methyl. So you can call it 4-iodomethyl. Or if you're going to do the blue numbering system, I'll accept 1-iodomethyl. Both these answers are going to get full credit. The group on carbon red carbon 1 or blue carbon 4, I know that it is a tert group because it has a chicken foot right there. Chicken foot is always tert. So if you see that pattern, it's a tert group. Tert short for tertiary. And it's a tert pentyl. So on carbon 1 of the red numbering system, you have a tert pentyl. And in the blue system, it's on carbon 4, and it's still a tert pentyl. And the ring they're both attached to is a ring size 6 that's called cyclohexane. And we're almost finished with this. I didn't talk about why we have the order that we observe for the groups. And the reason is it's alphabetically listed with the letter I before. Choose a different color. It's getting dark here. I don't have any lights on. We have the letter I before the letter P. Notice I didn't use the tert. I before P. Tert and sec don't alphabetize. Read about that in the textbook, please. Now, there's only one part to this question that we haven't done, and it goes right in front. Shouldn't use blue. I used blue already. And I can't find my Control Z key. I think I've hit Control X. All right. I used blue. And we're going to put the word trans in front. Trans means when there's 2 groups on a ring, One of the groups is sticking out of the ring, up. Wedge is up and or towards you, and the dash is away. If there were both wedges or both dashes, I would have used the word cis in front, and they are not cis, so I'm not going to put that in front. That's 0.75 points just for the trans. The rest of the name is worth 1 point. I got to make it a 2-point question because 1.75 is awkward. And that closes our another short segment.